Thank you, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Oakland, California. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Denver Broncos and the Oakland Raiders. The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Here we go. Watch the screen. Watch the screen. 55. Check.
Prescott on first down. That's complete to Jake Butt. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
They'll run for the first time with Phillip Lindsay. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Carl Joseph up from his safety spot to make the play. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Here's Prescott. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. On 3rd down, it's Prescott. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Shotgun now for Carr. This will be caught by Brown. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 23 yards, the final tally. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary. Figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. First carry for Josh Jacobs. The All-Pro Von Miller there on the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Let's go, D. Let's go.
They'll try the left side. Lincoln. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. It's caught. Nelson. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 14 yards is the pickup there and a Raider first.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that. Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on there heals a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, to have that dagger play, to have that play and just finish them off right now, because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
It's 2nd down and 10.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
Express.
Throwing again. Carr. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, 3rd down. He was all over that route defensively. Now, they had 2 picks last week as a unit. Couldn't quite grab that one.
Patience, Grasshopper. Patience is early in this game, but you like the fact that they're around the football early. They're going to be upset they didn't haul that one in, but at least they're there at the moment of truth to make a play on it.
By the way, where did the grasshopper thing come from? I know it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, you know, I'll have to tell you that some other time.
All right, back to football. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
Don't get nervous.
Carr to throw again. He's got his man. It's Williams. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Tyrell Williams. His 4th touchdown on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line.
At their own 27-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. And the Raiders have got him. Maurice Hurst, make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Check 56. Let's go, let's go. Hey, kill. 26.
3rd and long for Prescott. He's got his tight end Fant. And they work this well upfield across the 45. How about 25 yards on 3rd down? They'll take it. And that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
That one good for 13 and a Denver 1st down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory, right at the 40. Throwing, Prescott. He's got Jake Butt, his tight end. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a 1st down.
First down, Broncos.
On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. On 2nd and 11 now. Prescott. Open man here is Hamilton. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 12-yard line. Prescott going to come up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Escaping the pressure right. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, he strung it out as far as he could, and I like the fact that he kept his eyes downfield, but he finally ran out of time and room. But I'll take that over forcing it downfield and possibly having it intercepted.
There we go.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Prescott. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Broncos football as we begin quarter number 2. They're in the midst of a nice drive, but facing a 3rd and long here. Prescott from the gun. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
And while he did a good job of sliding around in the pocket, there was nowhere to go with the football, so he had to take off and try and run. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
It's been a nightmare season. You're well under 500. Your defense hasn't really kept in a lot of games. And now it's spilling over to the kicking game. That's 3 points you've got to be able to bank on.
The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. And certainly they'll be hoping to hit pay dirt like they did on the last drive. Got the football back, so a chance to go up 2 scores.
And they haven't been tentative at all in this ball game because sometimes you start a game with your script to try and get information out of the opposing defense. How will they play you in certain situations? Sometimes you script to attack, and that's what I'm seeing so far.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game as we just saw there.
On 3rd down, Carr. He gets it to Brown, complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 14 yards is the pickup there and a Raider first.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. But it's going to be 2nd down. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. To throw again. Carr got his man. That's Tyrell Williams. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
First and 10.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 49-yard line. Again, they'll throw with Carr. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll bring up a 2nd down.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down.
He's checking. Crash.
On 2nd down, Jacobs. And there is a flag, so a big 2nd down pickup, but will it hold? So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
You better be afraid of me. You better be afraid of me. 51's the mic. 51's the mic.
Now Carr again. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. The man who won a Super Bowl MVP award across the bay in Santa Clara, Von Miller, in there for the sack, and that is now 21 for him on the year. Wow, what a season. Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long.
Switch up. 29. 37's the mic.
Bravo.
That's what I do.
Hey, check Mike 47. Check Mike 47. Watch the run.
Working from the gun, it's Carr. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now the throw here complete on the right sideline. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. That one good for 26 and a 1st down.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
All right, coming up at intermission. Charles, you want to wait to enhance your Saturday?
I certainly do.
I've got just a thing for you. It's the coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by Orlando. He'll be alongside at half to take us through the weekend in the NFL. A pass there complete to Sutton. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 33.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. To throw is Prescott. And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the 1st down. Prescott now. Nearly perfect. 9 of 10 in this 1st half. It's 1st and 10. Back in his home state, Royce Freeman getting the carry. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Brandon, all things considered, They have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
On 2nd and 7, Prescott. Open man is Winfrey. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Give them 14 on that one and a first down.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, the ball gets tipped in the air. Because if that happens...
Yeah, this is caught by Sutton. Touchdown, Broncos. Cortland Sutton, his 6th touchdown of the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Extra point from McManus is good, and that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down. And it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1.
And on 3rd and 3, they decided to go with a dime package. Yeah. 6 DBs.
Yeah, you're right. They've got 6 out there. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Von Miller in there for sack number 22 on the year. And, folks, that's just a half sack shy now of Michael Strahan's record of 22.5 set in 2001. Here's A.J. Cole now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. So it sails out of bounds close to midfield, and they'll say actually right at midfield. So thanks to the late touchdown, it's a time ball game here heading to break. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach. Set and ready to go for the second half. 1 touchdown apiece, 7-7 our score. The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Once again, it's Jacobs. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. And he's taken down, but not before he gets to the Broncos' 33.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Now a give right side. Lincoln. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
Let's get it. Now, 185. Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense. Put that down. Alert flare, alert flare, flare, flare.
Now on 2nd and 13. Carr got him in. It's Brown. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 17-yard line. A good grab there by the former Central Michigan man, Antonio Brown.
And he ate up some real estate on the catch, too, didn't he? I think the most impressive part of it, though, if there's a chance for him to get the football, even though he was covered well, he somehow finds a way to get it.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. How about the defensive effort from both of these teams that we've seen in this game?
Would you say it's like a high-stakes chess match right now?
Chess is one way to go. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, the only reason I say that, you feel like they're contemplating their moves before actually making one, and none of them being done very confidently.
Truth be told, I've never played chess, and I know that I'm not smart enough to play chess. Guys like you with your IQ, you can pull that off. Now it looks like we've got a Raider here, slow to get up. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. A field goal would get them the lead, but that's not what they're shooting for as they come up on 3rd down. Again, it's Carr. He completes it to Nelson. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. J.J. Nelson. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Raiders have taken the lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 14-7. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And this game was all square at halftime, but now they find themselves down 7 following the opening drive touchdown here in the 3rd quarter.
And they need to take a good, relaxing, deep breath, don't you think? Because right now they might start to feel like they've got to play catch-up here and start matching them point for point. But it's still too early to get there. They can still run their offense. Plenty of time to get back in this game.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. On 3rd down, it's Prescott. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now after the INT, it's Carr. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. It's picked up by the Broncos. And he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes if they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback. They've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
A running play on 1st down, and it turns into a fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at their 49-yard line.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Play fake. Here's Prescott. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Prescott from the gun on third. He's going to fire one deep, and that's caught inside the 30. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 33 yards that time.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pumps from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. That one into the hands of Hamilton. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. Denver has the first down. The play going for 15 yards.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
A first down throw for Prescott. And this is going to be intercepted. LaMarcus Joyner with a pick.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Play action. Now it's Carr. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 39 yards the distance covered on the catch and run.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to...
And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Von Miller getting him once again, his 3rd sack of the afternoon. Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long. Shotgun now for Carr. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation. Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Fourth down, and on comes the Raider kicker, Daniel Carlson. This from 54 yards away. And no, it doesn't get there. Hits the crossbar, bounces back out. He had it on line, but it comes up about a rotation short. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Give me that ball, defense. Give me that ball.
Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. forced out to his left. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
Here we go. 2, Mike, 2. Cut.
Looking to throw again on second down. Prescott under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
52's the mic right here over there, right? 52's the mic. Here we go.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Carl Joseph. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
On first down, nothing opening up really on the running play. Give him maybe a yard, and it'll be second down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
At the 9-yard line.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
We go. Express. You got to get moving, man. Man moving. You got to get that.
They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. The football comes out. Jacobs lost it. It's picked up by the Broncos. And they will have the football deep in enemy territory all the way at the 10-yard line. They'll run on first down. It's Lindsey. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
55. Check. 55.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Prescott got a man open. It's Sutton. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. They toss to Freeman. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Prescott to throw on 4th. And no, it's incomplete. They're turned away on 4th and goal. And the Raiders hang tough down near the goal line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 7 left. Now Carr. It's caught. Nelson. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. 14 yards is the pickup there and a Raider first. Big hook up there. Forced to throw it on third down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. And this defense here going to burn their second timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. On 2nd and 11 now. Carr, he's going to launch. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game of the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter. Turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They'll look to throw. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the first down. I've got to give it to him on that one.
Normally, you don't want your guy taking shots, your quarterback, but it's winning time here in the fourth quarter. If he needs to make those plays with the legs, go ahead, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. At this stage of the game, all protections, they're off.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
It's a gain of 5, brings up 2nd and 5.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Prescott to throw. He'll find Lindsey here. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down. I tell you, it has not been his best day throwing the football. He really needs to piece something together here.
All will be forgiven if he leads them into the end zone.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Back to throw. That's complete to Jake Butt. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm going to keep firing.
They'll try to run with Lindsey into a mass of bodies, and I think they held him out. They did. No gain on the play, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. Here's Prescott. And this ball is caught. It's a touchdown. And now in the final seconds, they're a PAT away from likely getting this thing to overtime. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we may very well be headed to overtime. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. Tie game, and barring something incredible here, we're likely headed to overtime.
And just a couple of scenarios here to keep in mind. One, if you want to be really aggressive, you do throw the Hail Mary and see if you can get something downfield.
What would you do?
What I would do is either hand it off inside or more likely I take a knee and let the clock run out. Because if I'm back there trying to throw and a sack happens, the ball comes free, I can lose the game here. If I get to overtime, I can still win it.
Let's see if they are in line with Charles Davis. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
Come on, fellas.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far.
Everybody, 480. 6, right there, 56. There's a party now.
On the counter, Lindsey. He'll get about 4 here, down to the 43-yard line. Short gain there to start overtime.
Almost a tester play, wasn't it? Wanted to see if the guys on defense were going to fit the gaps the correct way because we're in overtime. So it's not just physical tiredness out there, right? Mentally, are you still doing what you're supposed to do? And they were up to the task on that play.
And certainly fatigue on both sides of the football. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down. Opening drive of overtime, and now facing a third down and 6. Big play coming up. Prescott from the gun. He's got Jake Butt, his tight end. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to fourth down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. So a big move here, playing to win in overtime. They're going to go for it on fourth down. Oh, and now movement and a whistle, and they may have to rethink their plans on fourth down. A big call here in overtime. They're going for it on fourth down. Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here. They'll be down to just one remaining as we step aside here in overtime. They failed once in this spot earlier, but the offense will stay out to go for it on fourth down.
52 by 52. Here we go.
Now Prescott on fourth down. And it is incomplete. The Broncos unable to convert here on fourth. And the Raider D, they get the football back. He'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. I've seen, you and I have both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here. 4th down play, make sure you're focused just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. What can Carr do now with his drive? He'll find his tight end. That's Waller. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
He's going to go for a big play downfield, and that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield, but that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Come on, baby, let's go. Get it done. Let's go. Let's go.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on 4th, turned it over in their own territory. But the other guys and down he goes, brought down a Raider sack. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. It'll be their 2nd and final timeout, remember, here in overtime. We'll be back. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Here's Prescott. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. He'll take it at the 42, and he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Neither team scored yet. Now we go to sudden death. Next points win this game.
How about the tension right now? It is ratcheted up, isn't it? I mean, now whatever happens, points are scored. That's your ball game. Can't wait to see the defense now. Do they get a little more aggressive in order to not let the team just drive the ball easily down the field?
Gotta be careful, though, right?
Yeah, if you're too aggressive, you just give up something easy and cheap. But some defensive coordinators, they'd rather take a stand that way as opposed to being nickel and dime down the field.
Here's a quick hitch route and the throw complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
From the gun now on 3rd down, Carr. He's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfrow. His first catch, and it's a big one in overtime. It's a 1st down. He did not have a catch till that moment. Pretty good time for his first one, though, here at OT.
I would agree with that. And just think about how they had to cycle through all the play sheets, right? Tried to find ways to get a lot of people the football. In this case, as you said, he hadn't had a catch all game. Now they find him in a key moment. Really well done.
Now 2nd and 6 at the 36-yard line.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
We gotta get this stop.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Jacobs. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 11 yards there, first down.
Check line 47.
I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they even let you play.
First and 10.
And now the clock will stop as he's able to get up and spike it here. What pressure as this thing all rests on the foot of Daniel Carlson. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. They'll be left with just one remaining here at OT. What pressure as this thing all rests on the foot of Daniel Carlson. This to win it in overtime. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. We were just treated to an absolute dandy in this one. A great finish in overtime with a long field goal. Everybody, including us, on the edge of their seats. Quite a game.
And it's rare that you get a game into overtime that it doesn't turn out to be a dandy, right? That's what we saw here. And just what you were talking about, a long field goal to win it. So definitely not a gimme. So there was tension all the way through until the ball went through the post.
But it did go through the post. Ice water was in his veins. So for the Raiders, the win moves them to 8-7 now on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Denver, it's another loss as they now fall to 4-11. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay. I might pass the ball, but this is no game. Okay. All my girls, they love and hate me the same. Okay. So when I die, I ain't gonna be from old age. Somebody gonna want revenge. Somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros. Left pocket got pound. Somebody gonna want revenge. Somebody might want it now. Throw the ball with the right hand, catch with the left, touchdown. Step back, let me get some room. Congrats every time I'm through.